Back with the New York Islanders report for WFUV Sports. I'm Chris Hennessy after a 5-4 shootout victory for the Islanders over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Both Josh Bailey and Zach Parise scored 2 goals in this game in regulation. Kyle Palmieri puts in the lone shootout goal for a 5-4 victory. Ilya Sorkin, the first star of the game, despite giving up 4 goals, has a career-high 43 saves, makes 2 saves in the shootout. The third one wasn't a shot on goal from Crystal Tang, but we'll give him that one too. 3 stops in the shootout and a terrific game from Sorokin and from the offense as a whole. The defense left a little bit to be desired, obviously. 47 shots on goal through 65 minutes of play. Not ideal, but overall they played a very good game. They got out to a 3-1 lead on a Josh Bailey goal late in the period. They let that lead slip away in the second with 2 goals, and they got outshot 19-7 in that period. It was brutal second period, one of their worst of the season, but they're able to bounce back in the third. They make it 4-3. Anthony Beauvillier takes a penalty that was not a penalty. The Islanders argued it, didn't get the call the way they wanted to. Kasperi Kapanen clearly stepped on the puck and not Beauvillier's stick, but doesn't matter. They end up scoring on that power play just a few seconds in. Jeff Carter scores for Pittsburgh, and they tie it at 4. And from there, it just kind of went to overtime. Nothing really too exciting happened in the third period. And then overtime went by. Another Beauvillier tripping penalty at the Islanders on a shorthanded opportunity. Pittsburgh isn't able to capitalize. Casey Zizekas gets a breakaway, but he's not able to capitalize. It goes to a shootout. Palmieri, the lone goal, and Sorokin with 3 stops and a New York Islanders victory. Obviously, a lot of positive things that come out of this, but one of the negative things is Oliver Wahlstrom's performance. Barry Trotz was not a fan, and he sat for the final period of the game. Less than 10 minutes of ice time for Wahlstrom, and not a single second, not a single shift in the final period with the game on the line. You're going to hear Ethan Sears from the New York Post ask the question and Trotz answer about Oliver Wahlstrom and his lack of availability in the third period.
And Wahlstrom not playing the third, but was that injury related or
Nope, not at all. Performance related.
What exactly?
No, it just, you got to play better. I'm not going to give you any details.
Shortly after, Trotz was asked about Zach Parise. This is actually the next question. And an interesting answer. Obviously, Parise has been a fantastic player for this team, but take a listen to what he says here in the middle of this clip.
Well, just you're happy for him because he plays multiple roles for our team and important roles. So you want those guys to get rewarded. I hate cherry pickers. I really do. In this league, I think you got to play both sides of the puck. You can't cheat in areas where your teammates got to rely on you. So he plays the right way.
So the cherry picker comment, don't change when your players are counting on you. It's interesting, right? Obviously, Parise and Wahlstrom are line mates with Matt Barzal now here in the late season. And on his way out of the interview room, Trotz made a rhetorical question, kind of offhanded comment, basically saying, you all know what the definition of cherry picker is, right? And of course, anybody who's a hockey or basketball fan does. Somebody who has no interest in playing defense. Now, the first thing that comes to mind for me is Alex Ovechkin, and Barry Trotz able to coach Alex Ovechkin kind of out of his cherry picking phase from his earlier parts of his career, get him to play a little bit of defense, and it wins the Washington Capitals the Stanley Cup. So obviously this is not over. This is only year 2 with the two, Oliver Wahlstrom and Barry Trotz, together in the same room, and it will not be the last. It's just not how you want this season to end. The season is over in terms of playoff contention. The Caps are getting hot. They're on pace to catch Pittsburgh here soon, and they win 9-2 against Philadelphia tonight. So the chances were less than 1% coming into the night. They have to be less than 0.5% now. So it's about getting the young guys reps, and getting Wahlstrom and Barzal reps together should be priority number 1. And tonight didn't go the way that Trotz wanted it to for Wahlstrom, and that's okay. But these comments did not, to me at least, signal a regime that was open to Oliver Wahlstrom really playing the rest of the season. We'll see what happens on Thursday when these two teams meet back in Pittsburgh, but this was not a good night for Oliver Wahlstrom, even though his team comes away with the 5-4 victory. The Islanders are in Pittsburgh Thursday night, as I said, They played Casey DeSmith tonight, Pittsburgh did, so I would assume you would see Tristan Jarry back in Pittsburgh again on Thursday night. I will be back next week on a Tuesday and a Thursday. The Islanders play Florida on Tuesday, which should be exciting to see that team in person. And then they play the Rangers at UBS on Thursday, the first time since November. Those two teams have played at Belmont Park. The Islanders now 2-1 against the Rangers this season. So they look to close it out on a high note as they continue to fall out of the playoff race. But a positive tonight, Ilya Sorokin, the first star of the night at UBS Arena. For WFUV Sports, I'm Chris Hennessy.